It's pretty wild seeing this big resurgence of creature features. We had Nosferatu recently, we have Wolfman now, Frankenstein's coming this year, Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. Truly a time to be alive. And with this thick, luscious head of hair, I'm starting to feel like a Wolfman myself. But enough about me. Let's talk about Wolfman 2025 in a spoiler-free review. Leigh Whannell is back, recently taking on the Invisible Man. Here he is revisiting another horror icon, Wolfman. Part man, part wolf, all attitude. But how does this stack up to the other werewolf films we've had? What a great question I just asked myself, but now I want to ask you something before I provide an answer. If you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell, I would be pleased as punch. That way future videos from me show up in your feed. Okay, let's get to it. Wolfman 2025 is fine. It's fine. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I had a good time watching it. There's issues for sure, and we're going to get into some of them. But overall, it's a watchable film that may not be up your alley. We'll see if we can shift you one way or the other during this one-way conversation. We have a very simple premise. Blake, his wife Charlotte, and their daughter Ginger are finding themselves in a bit of a rut, looking to shake things up a little bit, which is perfect timing because his dad has been pronounced dead. So they can check out his old stomping grounds, a place he grew up and he has no fond memories of. They're gonna have themselves a little road trip to a isolated cabin in the woods, free from pretty much all civilization. But there are plenty of critters in these parts. You have all your staples: rabbits, deer, bear, werewolf, and just the standard things you would find in the woods. Well, Blake, Charlotte, and their daughter are gonna find themselves also in a heap of trouble. Trouble that's going to manifest in the form of an infection that Blake is going to get on his arm, causing him to turn into, you guessed it, a bad father. No, it's actually a Wolfman. He's a good father, and he reminds us, the viewer, that every 10 minutes. As he has several conversations with his daughter Ginger, reminding her over and over, I'm here to protect you. I'm here to look out for you. I'm here to keep you safe. Do you understand what I'm here for, dumbass? I'm here for you. Help me help you. The majority of the film is going to take place on one faithful night where he's going to be fighting with his ailments. And so Charlotte and Ginger are going to have to deal with a pretty bad situation. And for an hour 43-minute movie, it gets the job done as far as the story is concerned. There's plenty of things happening at all times. This movie feels quick without being action-packed. It takes its time building up, but I never had a dull moment with this film. Now, I did have major issues with it, but not enough for me to say, I didn't have a good time watching. One of the issues is the dialogue and the way people are talking, especially Julia Garner as Charlotte. First off, I really like this actress, especially in Ozark, but I just never have seen her in any movies that I enjoy. This is the first time a film is pretty solid with her in it, and she's kind of weak. And not weak in terms of her character. No. This character is very much a strong female lead. And for a Wolfman film, it's about time. She's gonna find herself in situations and know exactly how to get out of that. We find out she's a journalist early on, and apparently knows how to do a lot of things on the farm. The script doesn't bother giving us information about her background, so as she goes through this movie being able to do things that you might not think a city journalist could do, you just have to go, yeah, okay, whatever. The script needs her to do it, so I guess that's just how it is. Not really the most compelling way to build a character, but if that kind of stuff doesn't really bother you, I was able to look past it in this film. It was fine. Listen, she's married to a dude who grew up in an environment with a father who was very controlling and made sure the kid knew how to hold his own. So one could deduct that he would probably do the same for his wife and daughter, show them the ropes, some of the things they might not have been privy to in their childhoods. So you kind of have to build some of these characters' foundations up because the movie's absolutely not going to. And the script is also not going to throw you for any loops. This is very much a straightforward movie with reveals so obvious, I don't know how anyone couldn't have seen them coming within the first 5 minutes. I'll just leave that there. Here's the issue I have with Julia Garner in this movie. One, She's playing an adult woman, which, because I know her from Ozark, she's always gonna have that youthful trailer parky vibe. Can they do something to change up the hairstyle or maybe just glow up the skin a little bit? She looks the same in every movie I see her in, and so it's really hard for me to separate her characters, especially when she's also kind of playing it the same way. She's again kind of mousy, pouts a lot. She kind of shifts her eyes a bit, but has nothing to say. There's a scene very early on when she's having a conversation on the steps with her husband, and this honestly felt like it was playing a video game, an RPG of sorts, where you're talking to an NPC, a non-playable character, and you get little tree conversations to choose from. Your character talks in a bit of a stilted way, and then they just kind of move a little bit, shift, nod, maybe their eye twitches a little bit. They don't say anything though, or they have a stock reaction. That's how some of the dialogue and the way they interact with each other comes across. As for our werewolf in the making, Christopher Abbott, I think, is the strongest of the three. He has a likability to him, and it is a little sad watching him start to unravel as the movie goes on. That said, I think it could have been a lot stronger of an emotional break if we had more of a connection between the father and daughter, like we did in something like A Quiet Place, for instance. That felt like a family, and it was heartbreaking when something would happen to one of them. I never got that family connection between these characters, and I don't think it helped from a story standpoint that the husband and wife were kind of struggling to find happiness. Had we pulled people in with a strong, loving relationship, it would have made the transformation far more intense, because then you get to see them break down emotionally more. Unfortunately, as weak as Julie Garner was in this for me at times, the daughter, kid actors are tough. Sometimes you hit the jackpot with a Macaulay Culkin or a Haley Joel Osment. Other times you get something like this. And what's odd is the actress that plays her did a very good job early on before they get to the scary stuff. I thought she held her own very well. But it's when we get to that house in the woods that things fall flat with her. She just has no presence at all. And that sucks when you have this emotional tie that you're supposed to get between the father and the daughter. I wasn't feeling it for most of the movie. If you're a slasher fan looking for a lot of kills, looking for a lot of gore, not the movie for you. Again, we are focused on a very small group of individuals, and so there's just not a lot of killing, there's not a lot of blood and guts. You have the transformation, of course. It's just a little underwhelming, to be honest. Visually, the movie looks great when you can see it. A lot of this takes place at night. If you watch this at home streaming, you better make sure the room you're watching it in is basically pitch black. If you're watching during the day, you get some of that light coming in off the window. It's not gonna happen. You won't see shit in this movie. I was in the theater, they have the lights kind of half-ass on, which bothers the crap out of me, and there were night shots where I couldn't see a damn thing. Some of it's by design, and it works really well, because we get the vantage point of both the humans and this new lycanthrope that's skulking around in the darkness. These are my favorite moments of the movie. We see from the vantage point of the wife, and there's just nothing. It's blackness. The camera slowly peeks around to the werewolf's point of view, and things come into focus. Voices are muffled, but you very much get a clear as day shot of what's going on in the room, and it can be disturbing and haunting at times when he's like right up in their grill and they don't know it. As far as the production goes, again, it looks good. It's not one of those bullshit day to night filter effects where everything has that blue stank to it, like a lot of Blumhouse movies do. This one feels like it's shot at night. They do a good job with the environment. It felt like I was outside freezing my ass off, scared to death that a wolf man was gonna come kill me. The movie does a good job of keeping you on edge, and that's due to some amazing sound design going on. Shit, there are moments where spiders are going up the wall and it's like because his ears are doing the hearing for us. The music, on the other hand, I felt was pretty muffled through most of it. Perhaps I was just kind of invested enough where it was just accompanying me nicely, but I felt like they could have popped that up and punched it a bit more. It's also a little bit of a bummer that most of this movie takes place in one night, because the intro to the film, which is a day sequence, is probably my favorite part of the movie. A lot of tension. You can see what's going on. There's great atmosphere throughout it. I wanted some more of that. But yeah, overall, this was a very easy, pleasant watch. However, I can see why people would be down on this movie and give it a negative review all the same. There is definitely problems. It's far from perfect, but I mean, listen, I just watched a shitty Peter Pan nightmare movie the other day, so this was just a massive step up. Maybe that helped going in. Those are my thoughts on Wolfman, though. If you enjoyed this video, again, think of subscribing and liking the video. I plan on doing a spoiler video on this as well in a couple days. If this one does well and there's some interest for that, I'll definitely jump into more information. And hopefully by the time I do that, I have myself a damn haircut because it's getting out of control. All right, I'll see you next time. Take care. Thanks again for watching the video. If you wouldn't mind, I would appreciate it if you checked out patreon.com/AdamDoesMovies. That's where fans of my channel go to help support it. There are different tiers with different offerings, exclusives every month. We got multiple movie reviews. There's a vlog monthly, and these fine people get a shout out because they're at the upper tier level. Look at these gorgeous folks. They have really gone above and beyond to help support me in the channel, and I appreciate them. And even if you don't want to plop down $1 a month, you can just sign up for Patreon for free and become a member at no charge, just to see what's showing up at least and give you a better sense of it all. Appreciate your time. Thanks.